Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay cast. Today it's a 3 vs 3 on another D-Day in Paradise, one of my favorite maps. However, the issue of graphics with Wargame still persists, and you kind of need to use DirectX 9, otherwise the trees look like a big black blob, and it doesn't record very well either, so there's some kind of problem. I don't know if it's NVIDIA or UGen, but whatever. Either way, so I have to use DirectX 9. It's a little bit more choppy when I do that, so I do apologize about that. And once again, description in the video has a link to a replay website, so you can upload your replays there, and if you put my name on it, and I check them out, and if it's a really good replay, I'll cast it. But anyway, let's get this going. On the right side, we have a red team. It consists of casual, soup de ball. I don't know if that's French or not, but we're going to go with that. And then a whole bunch of equal signs and an ellipses. Very interesting team there, Mr. Equal Sign and Ellipses. Anyway, our blue side consists of a name that is going to be a hard one. Let's just go with Statney's Vatek. Sure, why not? That's probably totally wrong, but anyway. And Horace and Marty McFly. We're going to speed this up to the 10x mark till all the units come out, all the good stuff starts to happen. And it is a 40-minute replay, so I might actually keep this at 2 speed from time to time. And I know I've actually had some people that say they don't really necessarily care for speeding up the game like that, but sometimes Wargame is just a little bit slow. I usually don't do that in my other replays, unless the replay gets super stale, like halfway through the game or something. But Wargame is the kind of game with just, a lot of times it's just a lot of non-action moments in Wargame, but that's just the way it is. It's very strategic, setting everything up, and so we'll see what's going on here. Some Celtics moving forward here, and they're moving off to the right side to stop any choppers. There's a recon chopper that they probably could get. I'm now seeing the Sokol is going to be going after those by the looks of it, and I see some very heavy armor moving up the front here. A couple Challengers, Leopards, Challenger 2 as well, and Celtics going nuts there with Mistrals, Sokols trying to back out of there. One Sokol left. And now here come the ground AA. And looks like some of these Celtics here probably not going to make it. But looks like they're turning around now. Maybe both of those will. And spreading out to the left here. And also sending those troops up the wood line here, because you definitely want to try and get to right here. This is a key position to be. Right here, and then you stop anything from moving up there. It's sort of a pain to actually attack into this wood line here as well, so he's going to get out just before he gets up the hill. And I'm going to send some around there. If you send some around through here, you can get into the little town there, give your opponent a hard time as well. This is actually a pretty critical spot on the map. What I usually like to do is send things up, I think similar to what he's doing now. You send them all the way up through the woods there and attack them there at the same time. And you can pretty much have the game in the bag as long as you take the other side there. We'll see how this side works out. And so we have Horace on the left side here in a hotel. Golf. Nothing too crazy happening just yet there. Marauder may be able to take out this MI-17 here. It's these another couple hits. I guess just out of sight. And takes that out. Spreading out troops pretty well here. And keeping them in their carriers. And additional troops now moving up through here as well. Some Jaegers splitting those up before moving them on out. And Recon Jadnotki moving around here. And there is that CV right there. So as long as you can just move them around without getting spotted. But looks like that might not be the case here. This A1G may run into them. And that will give their position away. And now the heavy armor in the center here. 2 T-72 OBRs versus the pinnacle of the British, the Challenger 2 and the Mark III there. And T-72s right now really don't stand too much of a chance. Pretty good tanks, but superior tanks on the other side at the moment, depending on how they are used. Challenger 2 looks like he took a hit there, but 1 bar of damage and just 1 bar. That 23 armor sure comes in handy from time to time. A little bit too close there, took more than 1 bar, I think 2 there. And I think the Jednotki may have been spotted for a second there, but they stopped. So he's going to stay there for a little bit, and now spreading out his troops along the edge here, and which is pretty good to stop your opponent from moving through there. But I usually like to just take the troops, and I like to send some through here, and actually send some through here, because getting into the back of there is pretty easy, and then you can actually just sort of push your troops up into that town line. Speed it up just a little bit here. And now a second Challenger 2 is moving on up with the Leopard there as well. And the first Challenger 2 is going to back off a little bit here, let those Cadies repair them on up. And now just going to say screw it, going to go right across the water, but probably could have had these Jednotkis in there as well, and then just push those across, and then had some come around all the way on the side here. But needs one there for now to spot right across the river, even though most of his vision is sort of blocked there. And now Terminator Fallschirmjägers here moving forward and absolutely destroys the Machschützen, as they usually always do. And Challenger 2 here in the middle having a field day, but now it's taking tons of missiles. I think it took about 3 ATGMs just there. And so Challenger 2 backs out for now. The AVREs push forward, but they are not going to last too long. Going to get hit by a ton of missiles and T-72s. So it did not last very long at all. Challenger 2 now has been fully repaired. So is the Mark III. Now this one needs to back out and repair as well. Still has a little bit of fighting power, but don't really want to risk a half-health tank. And now pouring Jaegers in here. Jaegers versus Machschützen, the classic East first West battle. And some Canadian rifles as well, moving on in. And now tons of Panzer Grenadiers have been released. And Machschützen now getting eaten up. Too many MGs. And Machschützen have made it successfully around here, though, and that could give him a problem if he can capture the town right there and hold that off from reinforcements, from at least fast reinforcements. Could go many other ways, but that is certainly obviously the fastest way, and will give your opponent a hard time. Machschützen here coming around as well, so the CV in a little bit of trouble. Some Fallschirmjägers and Fliegerfaust, not that they're going to do too much there, but a little bit of defense there in that CV. But a bit too many Machschützen now coming down. 10 Fallschirmjäger should be able to deal with the majority of these Machschützen. And now A1G here getting cut off by the Machschützen. Take out one, no survivors there. So there's a loss of 20 for those Jaegers. And Hotel still in the hands of the blue team, but red team owns the center here and is doing the majority of the offense. Both Challenger 2s still alive over here. Now a UM up front. T-72B nearly lost, and the other T-72 is also nearly lost at just 2 bars, but a couple Urals are here now to help repair that back up. And now Mark III pushing forward here. Some troops under attack, and they need to release here. Going to get hit by all kinds of missiles, and didn't lose too many units there, but just Canadian rifles, so not too big of a deal in any case. Challenger 2 being repaired up, as well as all these tanks over in the back here. The Urals working overtime there. Machschützen all over Alpha, and now this is going to be a major problem here. And Alpha has been lost, and that is a +2 now for our red team. And this whole mountain is just an infantry center here with, you can put some anti-air there, but for the most part, not too many things work up on this mountain other than infantry themselves. And Alpha will be hard to take back now with all of these Machschützen just spread all over the place. However, they are fairly low in numbers, just 3, 1, just 10 here, and we're going to have to be 38 Panzer Grenadiers moving on in. and these Machutsu stand no chance, so these will get cleared up pretty easy. But that was a very good attack there by Soup, which makes me hungry. Now I want soup. Now I want some gnocchi. Chicken and gnocchi. Isn't it gnocchi or gnocchi? I don't know. C here loses its life. And I don't even think it got off the bombs. I didn't even see where any landed, so that was very unfortunate, very expensive. And boy, I sure miss the old 111C with the 8 bombs at once. So up, so fun, but no longer the case. And now this place is completely overwhelmed here with troops. It looks like a sort of a 2 versus 1 situation. Captain Ellipses equal sign is moving forward. Or rather, no, the ellipses aren't just because his name is so long that it shows ellipses afterwards. So never mind, he is not ellipses man, he is just equal sign man. So that is my bad there in the beginning. And now going at it for the center here. The offense has begun for Horus. Tons of Jaegers pushing up through the wood line. And I sure do love Jaegers. And anybody that knows me playing the game certainly knows that, as I more than likely have beaten you with tons and tons of Jaegers. Either that or lost with my tons of Jaegers, one of the two. But I just really love infantry in this game. I love the infantry warfare, and Jaegers are just one of the best in terms of spammability and efficiency in that sense. Canadian Rifles here now coming out, and BMP's pushing on in, and great place for vehicles is indeed right here, because it's just far enough for certain ATGMs and just guided missiles in general, or unguided missiles. And you can get away with shooting for a little while from up there a lot of the time. And now pushing into the town as well, so completely took back over Alpha, pushed all of those Machutsen out, and now that CV is back in Alpha. And there are just tons of planes in the air right now. And Tornado IDS is all over the place, bombing everywhere, bombing the line here. And looks like he actually bombed himself there, lost some units, or at least somebody bombed some allied units there. But that does happen from time to time. And now the center's been almost lost entirely here by our red team. And the UAZ stuck all the way over here. It's going to be a little bit hard to get at that UAZ. I think he's hoping that UAZ is going to be on this side, but that is not the case. We have some Fallschirmjägers and Panzer Grenadiers coming around the right side. But there's still plenty of stuff that would stop these should they move out of cover. He's up to over here, Moderna is over here, so there'd be a lot of firepower coming at him, but not that much, but a couple tanks can certainly do the job. A couple Keelers moving in as well. MiG-29 here, looking for some trouble. Moving through the sky. And these Jednotki have made it all the way over there. They just now got spotted with that Tiger as well. And now the Tiger in a little bit of trouble here, actually taking a little bit too much damage from those Jednotki. So, but at least they know that they are there. So seeing pretty much everything that was coming out of there for a little while, knowing what to counter and such. MiG-29 here going after some of these IDS. And doesn't look like they're going to score any kills or even any hits for that matter. IDS landing all over the place here. Actually takes out the CV. Really nice there. That may have been just a blind bombing run, and it happened to get that CV because I'm not really sure what would have seen that CV at that close range. I'm not sure if these had vision or not. Maybe the Jaegers did. But very nice there. And Tiger now coming back over these Jednotki, and that probably not a good idea. It does have 22 cluster rockets there, but it's just getting hit by that RPK over and over, and this Tiger just needs to bail and do this with a Jaeger or two to take out those Janaki. Another CV now on the way. Looks like that may be heading towards Alpha. And BTR-80 here positioned in a fairly good spot, taking out all these Fusiliers and Green Jackets that are moving across. But the Challenger 2 is right here, and I'm surprised this Challenger 2 isn't actually taking out that BTR-80, although it does have a lot of its own targets. T-72 now firing, and the T-80UM as well. Challenger 2 still alive. Looks like he may have lost. No, both Challenger 2s still alive. And also all the T-72s are alive as well. So both players doing a good job of keeping all of their tanks alive. Now the Challenger 2 is lost. Another Challenger 2 lost. So that is a huge deal for what I believe is Marty McFly. Yes, indeed. Losing two Challenger 2s right off the bat like that. Or not off the bat, but rather just at the same time. Not going to be good. Now there is not a lot of armor to stop this armor. So here comes a slight push. T-72 and the T-80 given no fucks right now as they push forward, as there really isn't anything to stop them. There's the Challenger Mark III here, but he's going to lose that as well, and that is a big loss. Now he has absolutely no armor in the center there, and not going to be good. India now being pushed into with these Jaegers here. Matsushita trying to stop them. Not too many here. He's going to get wiped out. And the Jaegers are out in the open, so it looks like the BMPs here firing at either these Jaegers or these, and not in good cover there. There they go, get inside there. KPZs moving on over, and they should be able to take out the BMP that is firing in the back there. And there they go now, taking out those BMPs. We'll check on India in a moment. And some supply just hanging out over there. The CV is nearly back in Alpha. However, our red team did get quite the bit of points for that. And so once they take Alpha there, they'll be at a +2. But another CV here is going into the edge of Echo, so it's going to be taking that as well. And this is exactly what I do on this map. I really prefer to go the mountainous side on this map, get a bunch of troops, and pretty much just excel in troops and win the area here overall with some anti-air and troops, and then just park a CV in Echo. Really messes up your opponent, because once this stops as well, they're going to have a +4. And that's why I say this is the most important part of the map, in my opinion, is it's just +2 points right in front of each other, so close. And while it is the same over here, this is much harder to capture overall, as there's just towns in between. There's a lot of open space here, whereas this is pretty much just, if you win with troops and you can take their town, it's not good for them. And so now a +3 advantage for our blue team. So they'll catch up here pretty quick to 327. And the Furing's UAZ here looks like it's moving in towards Echo, but there is a Panzer Grenadier right here. And if this just happens to survive, it does look like he's sort of moving relatively in the direction. But not sure if he's going to survive this mortar barrage here. It looks like he's going to be going the other way. So it looks like this UAZ will stay in Echo for a little while. A couple 23 MLs, or one 23 ML moving in, but MiG-29's now moving in. And the M4P here a little bit too far behind, as the Roland now has pretty much free reign over firing at these MiGs, but the doesn't look like it will last very long. One misses, the other one gets it. And the Napalm comes down, strikes the Iltis. And looks like the Iltis is going to be burning to death here soon, so it gets out, but it's still in the zone. Still holding that zone at the very least. Furing's UAZ now inside, but there's a couple Panzer Grenadiers here, and they could, if they spot this, just simply really sacrifice themselves to take out that UAZ. And now back to India here. It looks like the push has been thwarted for now. And now Matsushita moving towards the other side. And since those Challenger 2s and that Mark III was lost, Golf is now essentially lost as well. And very unfortunate. Must have not have been looking at the time, as those, from what it looked like to me, those Challenger 2s actually had quite a while to actually back out of there. But rather were just perhaps being ignored, microing somewhere else for the moment. Another MiG-29 moving on in. And going to be dropping here shortly, but not going to get the CV. Just going to hit some Panzer Grenadiers, take those out, but there's quite a bit moving towards the CV now. And he pretty much knows that the CV has to be over here, here, or here. So all he has to do is basically move in this direction. A little bit harder for his opponent, as it could be pretty much anywhere over here, but was taken out by either the Martyrs or the Panzer Grenadiers there. As it moved a little bit too close, he pretty much should have just kept it where it was. But these Martyrs came around from this far side, took that out. And now the CV is lost. But for both players, really, so pretty much no net gain or loss for either player, really. +1 advantage still for the blue team. Another MiG-29 moving on in. And we'll probably be hitting somewhere around here, which will be an excellent hit. It's going to hit these Panzer Grenadiers and take them all out. And another big loss there. Statny. And I realize it's probably Polish or something, and probably not Statny at all, but that's what I'm going for. It's just what I'm going with, you know. I'm just I'm sticking to my guns. And the mortars here firing away at pretty much nothing. Panzer Grenadiers and Falchion Makers should be able to hold this for a while. 2A5 here as well. So some the good stuff, if you will, sitting here, taking out anything moving across that open ground. And the T-72 OBR going to take some hits from these commandos, and a 2A4, and it doesn't look like this is going to survive. And now loses the OBR, so he did hold on to that for quite a while, so I commend him for holding on to all those tanks for a while. But it looks like both players now no longer have any tanks in the area except for the 2A4, which had arrived recently and is just over half health. Could use a new paint job and hammer out some of those dings, because that is a dangerous position to have. Half health tank there. Anti-ground tank or airplane could come along, take that out. And really trying to go for that OSA, but I think it should be able to get away here. MI-24 coming in, but pretty much out of rockets. Has 20, which isn't really going to do too much. This Leopard here doesn't have any of those Cyclos either, so not going to happen. Stormer takes that out. And now Echo pretty much lost here. Soup asking for a little bit of help, and did bring in that CV, giving our red team the +1 advantage once again. And SU-25K now moving on in. And going after that Leopard, and this is exactly what I was talking about. And now that it is low on health, it may not survive, and it does with 1 bar, which is borderline cutting that. And so any more damage, so repairing would have been very good in that situation. He just sort of lucked out and didn't quite take lethal damage there. And now Mexis in a little bit of trouble here. And Mexis backs out from the superior Wilk. And 2A4 needs to start backing out as well. And losing my voice just a little bit. Not that I've been talking all that much, but I haven't been making too many videos lately. I've been fairly busy with life. You know, that thing that gets in between video games. The thing we call life. Very unfortunate, but I decided that, you know what, I'm going to make a couple videos here and make a quaddy cast, which I usually do a forecast. So if you just watch my Wargame videos and you like replay casts and the such and commentaries, my channel is full of it. I have Company of Heroes, StarCraft, Warcraft. So usually what I do is I end up recording 4 of them, or either all at once or over the course of a couple days, and then I just sort of process them all and then upload them so that it's for, and because I like to sort of please all the fans of the different games at once rather than just, you know, releasing too many of one. Sometimes I don't have a replay for one, so I end up getting another, but whatever. Happens from time to time. That's just usually the goal in the matter. And now golf has been retaken again, now neutralized. And this fire here is actually somewhat convenient, sort of totally covering this CV. And giving it sort of an inconspicuous spot to hide in. As you would suspect anything there would be burning, but really tucked away in the corner there is a safe and cozy CV. So that has been neutralized, so leaving our red team with 0-0 for the blue team as well, but 363 to 191. It was losing it there pretty quickly for a while. Did have a +3 advantage on the blue team after taking Echo there and capturing it. And they only had a +3 because they had actually lost golf there. And here your GR7 moving in, but I'm not sure what it's going to be attacking. I don't see any open targets. And doesn't really get the opportunity to attack anything. And taking some shots there. Anti-aircraft loses the GR7 to the LSTRs here. I never even really got a shot off at all. Yak 141 out in the skies. Maybe it was going after that GR7, but it's already a little too late. But just going to cover this guy for now, because why not? And the Keelers here moving on up. AP3 hammering away with those Arcan missiles, and takes out one of them. The other one just down to 1 health. And it's definitely trying to get out of there. BMP fires again, but misses. And another one. And the IDS here launching, dropping some bombs. And I don't even think it got off its payload. No, again, it seems like a lot of these blue planes are not actually releasing. And Su-25 doesn't look like it's in too good a shape here. It is armored, so it can take quite a beating. And I think we got one super lucky Su-25K, because that was about 6 or 7 shots from anti-aircraft. This Crotale was not standing still, so it was not firing. So I don't think it would have made it out of there if that were the case. And Crotale here going to fire at the Salamandra. There's a double Crotale, actually. It was not firing, so that is the reason why only the Crotale and the Stormer and not these two. And it looks like that may be close to it for the red team here. And looks like they may win this game. And yeah, only 15 seconds left. So we'll give it to the red team here. Blues team starting to bail out. But really well played here, and especially considering there was 2 Challenger 2s here and a Mark III against 2 T-72 OBRs and a T-80. So I would say that he was definitely outmatched in terms of tanks there, as the Challenger 2 is sort of one of the pinnacle tanks, and still managed to hold out and keep his tanks much longer than the Challenger 2s. So well played there in the center and for all these players. But I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I'll see you guys next time.